Good morning, ECB, and welcome to this week's episode of Stories from the Toy Box. This story is particularly special, and like many of our other stories, it takes place many, many years ago, way before Minecraft and even before Thomas the Tank Engine. In fact, it takes place just about when Jesus turned 12 years old. In Jewish culture, that's when you become a man. Jesus and his family, and loads of their family and friends, had travelled to the next town over for a special celebration called Passover. They spent lots and lots of happy days together, eating and drinking. And when the whole celebration was finished, they packed up and they set off home again. They were, about 3 days into their journey, and they suddenly realised they were missing someone.
Joseph, my love, can you pass this to Jesus?
Can you pass this down to Jesus, please?
Can you pass this on to Jesus, please?
Could you pass this to Jesus?
Here you go, Jesus. Oh no, wait! Jesus isn't here.
Jesus isn't here.
Jesus isn't here.
No, Jesus isn't here.
Jesus isn't here? Oh, Joseph, where could Jesus be? I was just sure he was with us.
I'm sure I saw him walking with some boys from the next town. I'll just go and ask them. Jolly ho, old boys. Have you seen my son Jesus? Nah, mate.
Not seen him since we left home.
Sorry, mister. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We must go back to Jerusalem and find him.
Oh yes, Joseph, we simply must. So Mary and Joseph turned round and started walking back towards Jerusalem. They walked and they walked for 3 whole days, asking everyone they could. Jesus, where are you?
No Jesus here, I'm sorry, Mum.
Okay, thank you.
Jolly ho, have you seen my boy Jesus?
No, Jesus here, I'm afraid.
Thank you, Albin.
And they kept walking until they stumbled across a rabbi, a teacher in the Jewish synagogues. Oh, sir, I don't suppose you've seen our son. He's only 12 years old, and his name is Jesus.
Jesus, you say? Of course, I have seen him. Come with me.
So Mary and Joseph followed the rabbi down all the windy, twisty-turny streets, and they followed him all the way to the synagogue. And when they opened the door, well, my goodness, Jesus, that is an excellent point you've raised. I really hadn't considered it that way. Thank you so much for talking to me today. It's been so useful.
It's not a problem, sir. It's been wonderful. But have you considered the hippopotamus?
Jesus! Jesus, what on earth are you doing here? I've been worried sick for days. Come on now, it's time to go home.
I'm sorry. Time just flew by, but surely this is the first place you would have looked for me? This is my father's house, after all. Well, I suppose it is time to go home. I'm getting a bit hungry.
So, there we have it. Jesus was just hanging out with his dad. This is the first story where we learn that Jesus knew he was God's son, even before he grew up to do all the amazing things the Bible tells us about. Even though Jesus was only 12, he was having some really big conversations with the leaders in the church. They taught him things, and he taught them things, even though he was only 12. In another story, we talked about Samuel, who heard God's voice through his ears, even though he was only a child. And in last week's story about Pentecost, Lily told us that even sons and daughters, even children will prophesy. Prophesying is when God tells us something that hasn't quite happened yet. I wonder if you've had any big questions with your grown-ups. If you have, we'd love to hear them. And if not, why not go and find a grown-up or somebody else that you trust and talk about some of the big things you've been thinking about? Because maybe, just maybe, God wants to teach them something using your voice. But right now, I'm going to come and settle down on the sofa and join the rest of you for TV Church.